All right, welcome to the Academies of Bryan Station. My name is James McMillan. I'm the executive principal here at the Academies, and we are excited that you are able to join us for this special announcement. I'd like to acknowledge the following guests who are here sitting in the front row with us today and standing here to my left. First, Superintendent Manny Caulk, President Seamus, Carey, Council Member Angela Evans, I just saw you this morning, yep. Council Member James Brown, he's back in the back there. Council Member Joe Smith, and Council Member Richard Maloney. I'd like to now introduce Transylvania University President Seamus Carey. President Carey is a leading voice on the relevance and future of liberal arts education. He has committed the campus to its liberal arts foundation while emphasizing career and graduate school preparation to ensure Transylvania students can compete for top positions with anyone in the country. We are very excited to have him here to make a very special announcement, so please join me in welcoming President Carey.
Thank you, President McMillan, Principal Hayden, Superintendent Caulk, for welcoming us here to Bryan Station today. I'd like to thank the members of the council who've joined us here as well. To begin, I'd like to ask Alex to please stand for a second. Alex McConnell is a graduate of Transylvania, and she's also an admissions counselor who works here with students at Bryan Station. And Alex is really one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, we're here today, because she early on recognized the quality of students that were coming out of Bryan Station and told me about it, and we set up a meeting to say, hey, let's get something special going here. So before you leave today, the students in particular, please introduce yourself to Alex, and she will set you right going forward. So thank you, Alex, for what you've done in getting this going. When I came to Transy 5 years ago, one of the themes that I introduced was the notion of opening doors. And the obvious metaphor of opening doors is that education gives you a path to opportunities that you otherwise might not have. Our education, the way I think about it, the liberal and liberal education is not a political term. The liberal and illiberal education is for liberation, right? It liberates students who have that sort of education from many of the restraints that society places on students who don't have that sort of education. So it's really a source of empowerment that our education offers to our students. And so our students, because of their education, have a lot more choices to chart their own path in life. And one of the ways not only do they develop the skills that open doors to jobs, they develop an understanding about how things work, about the structures of society, about the challenges that we need to address, and most of all, about themselves and who they most want to be. And through the work of Alex as well as others, we're convinced that the work that's going on here at Bryan Station is preparing you for those sorts of opportunities. And the mission of Bryan Station meshes so well with the mission of Transylvania University. And because we value your work so much and what you're doing here, and even more importantly, the potential for you all to do even better work in the future, we want you to stay here in Transylvania for college. And we want you to have the opportunity to study at one of the best schools in the country, Transylvania University, right? This year, because of the work of Taran, Johnny, and in particular Holly Shealy, our Vice President for Student Life and Enrollment, we jumped 11 points in the U.S. News World Report polls this year. That's unheard of, right? So we are, so right here in your community, you have one of the best schools in the country, and we want you to stay here and take advantage of that. So to make that happen and to help you see your way to that, beginning this year, anybody who graduates from the IT Academy at Bryan Station is going to get an automatic $18,000 a year scholarship to Transylvania. So again, we are placing value on the work you're doing, right? We know how valuable that is. That's $18,000 a year for 4 years. You do the math, go home and tell your parents what you just made for them today. That will enable you, if you come, to study any one of our 46 majors. But it will also give you the opportunity to follow up on the work you've already started. We have invested over $1 million in the last 2 years, $1 million in digital liberal arts, because we recognize that we are living in a digital world, and while we prize the liberal arts, we recognize that going forward it has to be integrated with digital technologies, and all of our students are going to graduate with digital fluencies that many of you probably already have. In addition to that, we are investing in our computer science department as a particular major. We have an incredible major. We're going to expand that starting next year. So you can build on the skills that you've already developed at Transy with any array of opportunities to study in the digital technologies. It was 50 years ago that Transylvania computer science majors first graduated, and those graduates have gone on to do all sorts of work in those fields, but they've also gone on to lead communities and lead corporations and do all the things that a liberal arts degree allows them to do in addition to having the skills of technology. But like I said, we are not going to stand still with the successes we've had. We're investing in these technologies and the education that is required. But here's a point I want to make, and I don't want to talk for too long, but here's something I really want you to pay attention to. The $18,000 a year that we're offering you is just a start. What a misconception a lot of people have about schools like Transy, and Transy in particular in Kentucky, I've learned, is that it's not affordable. And that's not actually the case, and let me tell you why. On average, Transylvania students get $27,000 a year towards their financial assistance. On average, students get $27,000 a year to tuition. In addition to that, our students graduate in 4 years. So here's a tricky calculation that a lot of people miss. Our graduation rate over the course of 4 years is about 70%. So if you come and you do the work, we guarantee you'll graduate in 4 years. And here's what that guarantee is backed up with. If you don't graduate in 4 years and you've done everything we've asked you to do, we'll pay for the remainder when it goes past 4 years. If you've upheld your end of the bargain and you don't graduate in 4 years, we will cover the rest of your tuition. That's our guarantee. Public universities, the 4-year graduation rate in the state of Kentucky is below 30%. So the sticker price looks like we're higher. Over the course of your educational career, we're actually less expensive because our students are working in their 5th year or they're in graduate school. They're not paying tuition to us. If you're at a public university, the chances are 7 out of 10 are paying an extra year or an extra 2 years tuition. So while they're paying tuition, they're also not working. So we are an incredibly value-based education. That's why we're ranked among the top schools in the country for best value. So I'm throwing this out there at you because I want you to take us seriously. We want you to be at Transylvania. We are an incredibly affordable school, and if you get there, you graduate, and if you look at the success of our graduates, it's really, really impressive. And so we welcome you to Transylvania. We want you there, and I am delighted that we are starting this partnership here today. Thank you so much. And now it's really an honor for me to introduce Carl Hayden, because Carl is the other principal who got this entire program going. I remember sitting in my office with Carl. He told me it was 2.5 years ago today. I can't believe it's that long. And boy, when I met him, I said, we're going to do something. And he is so impressive. And so please thank him for getting us started today, too.
Thank you, President Carey, for that introduction, but thank you even more so for supporting this amazing opportunity for our students. I would also like to thank Alex McConnell, the admissions counselor, who I've had the opportunity to work with over the last 2.5, 3 years in developing details of this partnership. From its inception 12 years ago, the Academy of Information Technology has been an important tool in developing future-ready global citizens from Bryan Station High School. We want to acknowledge the investment that Transylvania University has always made in our IT Academy students beyond this scholarship through a program like Pioneer Pathway and by providing work-based learning experiences such as job shadowing and internships over the years. This opportunity would not be possible without the rigorous classroom instruction provided by the IT Academy teachers. The Academy teachers regularly provide authentic and interactive learning experiences that address critical 21st century competencies that will help these students be prepared for the future. It would also not be possible without the dedication and hard work of our amazing former and current IT Academy students. This scholarship really exemplifies several of Superintendent Manny Caulk's major themes in his blueprint for student success: access, equity, global competitiveness, and rigor. Superintendent Caulk has from the beginning been a champion for Bryan Station and for the IT Academy. He set high expectations and committed time and resources to helping make the Academy model a huge success. He continues to walk side by side with us in this journey, and we're so happy to have him be part of this announcement. At this time, I would like to introduce Superintendent Manny Caulk.
Good morning. I am excited to be here, and as I look out into the audience and those gathered here this morning, it reminds me of when I had one of my earlier conversations with Superman. For those who don't know, that's Principal McMillan, and at the time, Assistant Principal Mr. Hayden. And they talked about what it meant to defend station, right? Defending station. Our students, you're familiar with that phrase, correct? And I tell you that as I look out, I see someone who sort of started or part of that legacy to make it Bryan Station what it is today. And you're walking in those footsteps. You're standing on the shoulders of those giants. So join me in giving a round of applause to the alumni president for Bryan Station High School, who's here with us, Mr. Glenn Jones. Yes. I also want to, before I get to my formal remarks, also acknowledge Ms. Epley for her work in the Information Technology Academy and also being an integral part of making this possible. Let's give her a hand as well. As well as our teachers in the Information Technology Academy. Our teachers here, stand up, teacher, let's give them a hand. That's right. This is about you as well. It's about what you. So today's announcement is the result, as President Carey and Mr. Hayden said, years of collaboration between Bryan Station High School, Information Technology Academy, and Transylvania University. Transy was one of the first major partners with the Information Technology Academy here at Bryan Station, providing opportunities for internships, job shadowing experiences for our students in the IT program. Bryan Station was the first school in our district to adopt the Pioneering Pathways program that helps expose our students to college application process, the financial aid process, and the college going experience. So this relationship between Bryan Station High School and Transy stems from a shared commitment for preparing graduates who have 21st century skills they need for a changing world in order to compete in a global society. I want to commend again the staff at Bryan Station for modeling the gold standard and what the academies of Lexington can do for students. The Fayette County Public Schools Portrait of a Graduate is our promise to families. When you choose our schools, you are choosing an experience for your child that will equip them to excel whatever future that they choose for themselves. Our vision of the Academies of Lexington is to give students voice and choice in their education by extending learning beyond the classroom and providing opportunities for students to discover what they are most passionate about and then tailor their high school experience to support the directions that they choose for themselves, right? So that's building efficacy in our students and agency. One of the core values we hold dear here at Fayette County Public Schools is that it takes an entire community to ensure the success of our schools and our students. And President Carey, with this announcement, shows that support from our community, and we say thank you for that. This significant scholarship opportunity extends the world of possibilities for the graduates of Bryan Station High School. These scholarships can be the singular difference between a student thinking they cannot afford to go to college or being able to attend one of the nation's top liberal arts universities in the country. And with that, I think it's important to note what I mean by singular difference. I'm going to ask a student to join me. Austin Murray, come on up and join me. Come on. Right here. President Carey, I'm going to ask you to join me as well. You know my year, Austin?
No.
Okay, that's an honest answer. What is today?
My birthday.
All right, today is Austin's birthday. But it's not just that. Austin has expressed a desire to attend Transylvania University. And one of the barriers was financial. And on his birthday, President Carey has removed that barrier and said all things are possible, Austin. Yes, you can clap for that. He has now made a pathway for you to see yourself at Transylvania University with an $18,000 a year commitment. Happy birthday, Austin. That's how you make a difference. Thank you.
All right, at this time, we were going to take any questions anybody from the media had, anything that you guys wanted to ask any of the wonderful people standing up here about the scholarship, about the academies, anything like that. We'll take those questions from you.